Hello in another episode of an Outcast. Today we're speaking English because we're in Rotterdam. And I'm here with my friend Klaasem Kooistrą, the man that made it all possible. That he taught me the Dutch culture, Dutch language, and helped me understand Dutch people, not to make any harm to them during extractions.
That's totally unallowed.
Exactly. Klaasem Kooistrą, it's really nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you. Well, as if we'd never met before.
But I had some adventures coming to you, back to your place, because you live in Leiden right now.
We live in Leiden, indeed. Although I'm from origin born almost in Rotterdam. Tell you later that I wasn't born in Rotterdam, but in Winschoten of all places. But I lived here my whole life. When I was 6 months old, I thought, okay, let's go to Rotterdam. I love the city. It has a special place in my heart.
Exactly. That's why you know the best place to record the episode, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful spot. And today there's a lot of wind. So we might have some mishaps.
We already had that camera fell off.
Yes, one camera flew into the water.
We spent around 40 minutes to come here to the nicest place of Rotterdam.
Yes.
But we had this big boat over here, and we waited for the cruiser to move it.
And that boat was called the Rotterdam.
Yes.
To make it even more cynical.
Exactly. Yeah. Could you tell our guests who you are? Because I know who you are.
Well, I'm a guy who's doing game shows. So I'm Quizmaster Klaas. And I do that for 40 people to 400 people. And it's very nice work to do. You do it for like 2-3 hours a show. The rest of the week I can fiddle around a bit. And I love it. You have always happy people around you, and I'm kind of a born happy person.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes,
I
love it.
That's also the reason why I asked you to be my guest over here.
Yes.
Because we're gonna talk about how your smile brings our smiles to the floor, right?
Yes.
You just have to have good vibrations, and those good vibrations gonna bring more
out to the whole world.
Exactly, right. But when we met, you weren't doing the game shows yet. Do you remember how we met?
I do remember. We had a mutual friend, a place where we went, called Ali.
Yeah.
And Ali had a fish and chip shop. And I'm really fond, besides Rotterdam, also of England. So fish and chips is sort of like a connection. I had a connection with fish and chips. So to my big surprise, there was a fish and chip shop in Bądź. So
the funny thing is, the cod, the fish cod, it's called Dorsz in Polish.
Dorsz, yes.
That's why the place was called the Dorsz.
Yes, the Dorsz. And so we met by sort of accident there, and we started to talk and drink, mainly drink, I think. And one day, the owner of the fish shop, the Dorsz, sorry for my Polish, lived there 11 years, can't speak it at all.
You speak Polish perfectly.
Yeah.
Especially when
Dwa piwo,
and especially when you order a beer with duże piana.
Duże piana, that's the most important thing. Because in Poland they sort of kill the beer. So anyway, the owner Ali one day said to me, I spoke to Maciek and he wants to go to Holland, can you teach him Dutch? What? I'm not a teacher by origin. That's how we started, and I had to teach you all the important stuff of Holland.
Yeah, and it only took us 13 lessons, 13 leze, just to teach me the proper amount of Dutch, so I can speak properly, right?
Yes. Properly I wouldn't say, but for patients in Holland you could say, Goedemorgen, gaat u zitten, doet uw mond open. The basics of what you do as a dentist.
But you know, after you said already that you're not a teacher, and you could already teach me in this 13 leze, the very amount of language that I should speak, that I'll be able to talk about the weather, right?
Exactly.
Look, that's why I created that outcast thing, because when you think about the definition of an outcast is someone that was thrown away from the society.
Yes, exactly.
That he's never want to be seen in Rotterdam again, right?
Yeah. And it was in the Middle Ages, when you still had a wall around the city. You were literally outside the wall.
Yeah,
that
you were just the outcast.
Yes.
But the more you live, the more you experience life, you start to realize that the outcasts, the ones that are outside the system, are pushing the world into the development,
yes.
right?
Because if you're an outcast, you're not only in your own bubble, your own little circle of people. You have to adapt to other different cultures, people, habits, and etc. And that makes, I think, an outcast a more valuable person than someone who's always in the same set.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to sound like a tinfoil hat, right? I'm not really into the conspiracy theories, but the government wants you to be in the very same uniform, in the very same form with other people, so they can easily control you, right?
Yes, it's a
so
matter
an
of,
outcast like you is the pain in the ass, actually.
Yeah. But in a nice way.
In a nice way, in a nice and smiling way. So look,
Exactly.
if I would go to the school, to the Dutch school, the Dutch language school, it would take me around half a year before I could just speak with people properly.
Yes.
Because our system works like that. On example of how you teach English. First of all, you teach I am, you are, he, she, it, and everything. And to be honest, you should be thrown into the crowd and start talking out there, right?
And I sort of skipped that whole structure of first this and first that. We immediately went into what you really need is conversational skills. And I took a totally different approach to teaching, which helped you a lot.
Exactly. There's this Chinese saying that there has to be some amount of faith to make two people come together. Look, I remember you walking into the Dorsz, and Alistair told me, you see this guy, that's Klaas. He's going to teach you Dutch. And it was the very same moment I was going to Holland, right? So I've never met you before, and suddenly the moment I'm going to Holland, there's this guy in his jeans and sports shoes going into the Dorsz, and he's going to teach me Dutch, right? It's not that I paid you a lot of money, right?
No, exactly. You paid quite a lot.
No, I didn't.
I'm also a good negotiator.
The Dutch also invented negotiations.
Yes. Beer negotiations.
All the good stuff in the world.
All the good stuff. Well, we actually did invent a lot of things.
We're going to also talk about it. But what I wanted to say that you took care of me, right? You didn't know me. It wasn't about the money, and you just found an opportunity, right? Life gave you an opportunity to become a teacher, and you started teaching me Dutch, right?
Yes.
I remember.
And I think if you do something, no matter what, you should give it your all, and not sort of think, oh yeah, I teach him, it's not my thing. No, if you do it properly.
I think it was.
Or you say, no, I don't.
But I can't imagine seeing you saying, no, I don't.
Well, there's some things I would not do, I think. I don't know, but...
I doubt that there are any things you wouldn't do. Life is an opportunity, right?
No, I try out everything. I have a really good reputation in Bądź, that I'm taking life to the max.
Exactly, right? I think that President Roosevelt said that if someone asks you if you are a welder, then you say that, of course you are a welder, and you just go and start learning welding because you're going to be a welder now, right?
Yes.
And that's how you started the adventure about the teaching. And I remember you have those books for teaching ducks. Ducks. For
teaching ducks. And you could quack immaculately after that.
Exactly. I remember you bringing that small radio to the fish and chips restaurant, right? And playing that exercise from the CD, right?
Who was it? Mark
Boomsma.
Mark Boomsma,
open tafel.
Gevulde koek.
And afterwards, you just liked it. You were very good at it, right?
Yeah.
Because you were, you could give your wisdom very, very
Yes.
quickly and in a very
Yes.
easy way.
Yes.
And then you started teaching
Yeah,
English.
English at a Polish school, and of course I didn't have any diplomas. And Poland is really like, do you have a diploma? No, okay, then not. But I convinced the guy, also because of your letter, best teacher in the world, that I could sort of do a tryout version. And I remember I had at first a group of people that didn't speak at all any English. So there were 14 people in the classroom, and so I went to them and I said, okay, this is your first lesson, and it's very simple. I'm going to ask you one question, and all you can say is yes or no. And they looked at me like, okay, strange guy. Where's the books? Where's the, things on the board? So I said to the first girl, do you speak English? And she looked at me, no. I said, but wait, what did you just say? She said, no. I said, that's English. So I'm gonna ask you one more time. Do you speak English? And she said, yes. I said, congratulations, you speak English.
And then remember that your students loved your lessons, right?
Yeah,
there were
yeah.
just
Yes.
a huge amount of students
Yes.
that wanted to go to your lessons.
Yes, at Friday night I had what's called conversational lessons, just talking like we do now. Talk about the weather, the boats, or Rotterdam, or ships, whatever. And that started with 5 people or so, because normally you study the books, the grammatics and the words and the boring stuff. And then I did my conversational lessons with interaction between 2 people and role playing and learning the alphabet to say in a proper way.
I remember that there was this thing about Volkswagen, that they cheated on some
the
CO2 emission and everything.
Dieselgate.
Dieselgate. And you were talking about
those sort of subjects.
You were talking with people who didn't really talk English about Dieselgate, right?
Exactly.
And
or the new single of Adele.
yeah,
Hello, and then I played a thing with David Attenborough, the famous, English voiceover, and they all loved it. So I started with 5 people, and eventually there was 25, and that was the maximum capacity of the classroom. Otherwise, I could have had 30 or 40 even.
exactly right.
Yes,
And
and also
sudden-
the owner of the thing was really happy with me.
Yeah, he was happy with you, but
Yeah.
he stopped paying you. Remember that?
No, did I kill him?
No, you didn't kill him, but there was this.
I should have.
After this huge boom that went with your classes, then everybody
Yeah.
wanted to go to
Yeah.
classes with Klaas. You just wanted to get your money for it, right?
Yeah,
And you
exactly.
got 1 month, the other month, but the third month.
Yeah, I think something went wrong in the whole organization, Epic School, I think it was called, and this whole thing was in Warsaw and in Gdansk and everywhere, and there something went wrong. So it's not his fault. It was the
Yeah, I don't mean this.
So, and then they stopped
I don't mean
indeed,
this guy,
yeah.
but we're talking about opportunities, right?
Yeah,
If
exactly.
someone would have a private school and
Yeah.
had a sudden teacher like you,
Yeah.
that is the total prodigy.
Yes,
This guy just
exactly.
came over from
Yeah.
Holland to Poland and
Yeah.
just started
Yes.
teaching people and talking about Dieselgate and Adele, right? And suddenly
Yes.
someone didn't notice how much value
Yeah.
he has in
Yes.
this
Yes.
one guy, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
suddenly I remember why I remember that, because they
Yeah.
called you
Yeah.
and they told you, oh yeah, class, because it's your classes today. Why aren't
Yeah.
you there? And you said, because I'm hungry.
yeah, that's right.
And they say, why are you hungry? Because I have no money to buy food, right? I already asked you to buy me to pay me my money, but
Yes.
until this day I didn't get any. So the moment you're gonna pay me my money, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna have more energy, and I'm gonna go straight to work.
yes. Yes.
Did you know
that's right. I
I
totally forgot about this. This. Thank you for remembering. No, it was indeed a very funny conversation, and I think normal people would be angry or well,
yeah.
but I thought, I will see.
That's what I said. What I said before, that I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you to come over here and tell
Yeah.
everybody about good vibrations, right?
Yes.
Whenever you're even you've got this English saying, then when life gives you lemons,
Yeah.
make lemonade.
Exactly.
Even if something bad happens
Yes.
in your life, just like you've got some really, you got really good fun while teaching people,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And someone just took it off
Yes.
because of bad organizations. And it's just like you said,
Yes.
someone would be mad about it, but you just turned it into a joke and just found another job,
Exactly.
right?
And I think that's the way I approach life. Really easy to peasy, easy going, and I don't believe in sort of fighting and bad things, because it hurts yourself also.
Exactly.
If you're angry against somebody else or against a situation.
Exactly. It's in Polish language we say nie gniewaj się. So
Yeah.
you can translate it literally in don't anger yourself.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
It's you're
Exactly.
angering yourself. Whenever
Yes.
something
Yes.
bad happens in
Yeah.
your life, you're angering
Yes.
yourself.
Exactly.
And I think it was Ernest Hemingway who said that being angry because of somebody
Yeah.
is hurting yourself because someone is stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. You should not do it. It's better to keep your body in a good state, good vibration. And
Exactly. And why did you choose Poland?
why did I choose Poland? Long story short, one day I had an advertising agency. I had a fairly big advertising agency with 25 people, full-timers. And at that time, really long time ago, the internet was sort of coming into demand. But I didn't have anyone with programming skills for HTML, JavaScript, CSS. So I had in those days an au pair, fancy au pair, and she was from Poland. So one day I went with her to Warsaw and tried to interview with different programmers, which I did, and we found sort of 5 guys who were okay-ish in that sense. And that's how I came to Poland a couple of times, to Warsaw, and there I met a girl. And then I hooked up with the girl. And long story short, that went pretty okay. She came to Holland. We lived in, close here in Rotterdam, Capelle aan de IJssel, but nobody can say that word.
Capelle aan den IJssel is where I work.
Very good. You
Yeah,
worked
because I
in
worked
Capelle.
there.
Yeah, you see the vibe? And after a while I got into a divorce with my now ex-wife, and I had some money, so I thought, okay, let's go and move to Poland. So I lived in Warsaw for some time.
Oh, I didn't know you lived in Warsaw first.
Yeah, for a year, I think. And then my now ex-girlfriend, so I have ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, more to come. She got a job offer because she spoke Dutch in the meantime. And the same book I used for you, for the teaching of you. That's why I had some basis, not totally out of nothing. And she got a job offer for Philips to work there. And so we went to Łódź. First time I came to Łódź, I thought, nope, niet, nada, no, niets. So, but then we went to a very nice discotheque, and I saw the good side of Łódź also. Nice girls, happy people, and etc. But the moment you drive into Łódź, it's such a nightmare.
Exactly, right.
Really
and no one
bad.
really does anything about it, right?
No, that's the
So
weird
how come
thing.
you can have inspirations from all the
Yeah.
sides of the world,
Yes.
right? How come you cannot come to Rotterdam and see how
I thought
it's made?
you said to the boats, please go away.
Oh my God!
There's another one. Well, we can ask them all to wave. Wave to us, you're on camera. They're all on camera now. Anyhow, where were we?
I was talking about inspirations that
Yes.
I was trying to ask you, I wanted to ask you how did you adapt to the Polish society, but you never adapted.
No,
You always were yourself. You were
Yes.
Dutch in Polish city, right?
Yes, I never learned to speak any Polish. Thank you. You have like 500 meters of water. But no, like 5 meters out of the thing where we are. So anyway, I went to Łódź, I went to Warsaw first, but I never adapted to to Poland, to the Polish language, and that made me, I think, also very attractive to people, because I was a bit of an outsider, an outcast.
You were an outcast, right?
And but in a nice way, of course. And yeah, that's a strange thing, a nice thing to experience.
Exactly, and I remember those very nice and smiling people come to your parties on Piotrkowska's.
Yes, I only had nice people. They had to speak English, so I had some sort of automatic.
Exactly, I showed you it before when we met. But there is that's the best way to show how vibrations work.
Yeah.
When you go on the balcony.
Yeah.
And you see 1,000 people under the balcony.
Yes.
You're gonna see three people. You're gonna see the blonde girl. You're gonna see the guy in the hat, and the old lady next to the balcony.
Yeah.
Now we started to believe that there is some kind of vibrations, that our cells have vibrations. Our emotions have vibrations.
Yeah.
And if you take two, we call it kamerton. How do you call it? Is kamerton?
Kamerton? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how you call this in English or even in Dutch.
Yeah. And how do you say metal thingy?
Metal thingy.
In Dutch.
Een metalen dingetje.
Exactly, a metalen dingetje. I don't even have to hit your own metal dingetje.
Nee.
When I'm gonna hit mine and just make it closer to you, it's gonna get the very same vibrations, right?
That's right.
Even if I'm gonna take the smaller one, we've got some other frequency, and I'm gonna hit it, that's also gonna have some, put some vibrations into your metal dingetje,
and you can different tone coming up from the connection of the two, which is really interesting.
Yes, it is. And whenever you have the good vibrations, and someone's coming with bad vibrations, is gonna try to ruin your vibration.
Yes.
So your role is to keep your vibrations anyhow.
Yeah.
When someone comes, I'm really trying to have my dental office far away from the medical point of view.
Yeah.
I don't have the pictures of teeth, a skeleton, or something like that. It just looks like I think it looks like a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there drinking lemonade and having a good time.
Yeah.
But from time to time there is coming a person with bad vibrations and started giving the bad vibrations for the whole crew, for the whole staff, the other patients, and he starts to giving him the bad vibrations that you don't really need.
Exactly.
That's why my staff is taught to try to bring the bad vibrations into the good ones.
Yes.
Right?
And that is 9 out of 10 times possible for me. I'm really capable of moving the whole feeling you have in a room back to a higher level. That's why I love doing my game shows. Mm-hmm. You know, you have 20, 40, 50 people and they're all a bit like, it's going to happen, and within no time I can lift that spirit, that feeling up.
I also love that possibility and ability, that you can turn someone's vibrations into something good.
Yes.
Whenever there are, in my own case, I had those the second teeth behind my canines, the third teeth. So I tried to laugh. I really like laughing and everything. So, but my smile was really not that bright as I would like it to have, right? And I also got my own patients that come over here and they are smiling. I know that there is some fire in it, but they don't really know how to express it, right? Remember your own case, right?
I had, well, long story short, I had a dental fair, a really dental fair. I'm not talking about no, really a fair. So a week before I had to go to the dentist, before I met you, I was already not sleeping well, sweaty hands, sweaty forehead, terrible. And I know it comes from my mother. My mother, when she went to the dentist, needed to have a stiff drink, a little bit of a cognacje. And then when I walked with her hand in hand, when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I felt her sweaty hands. And in those days, the dentists were not like you are. The dentist was having a very old system of wires over wheels. So the drill was like a torture machine. There's no other word for it. And I had the bad luck that my dentist in that days had really big hands, like this. So I was a small boy, big hands, drill like this. And of course, no anesthetics in those days.
Yeah.
I had my first dental anesthetic when I was 20, I think. So for 20 years, well, 15 years, I had this terrible thing of going to the dentist was painful, it was horrible, it was totally unfriendly guy also. Shit, open your mouth. And not nice. And I had a sweet tooth, as you can say it. Mm-hmm. And I had this candy sticks, zuurstok, I don't know the English word for it. So I was having this stick in my mouth, so constantly my two front teeth were connected to sweet stuff. So within a couple of years I had really bad frontal teeth. So every time I went to the dentist, I was hanging there like a fish without anesthetics, with a drill that was like, so terrible experience. And on top of that, my mother's fear pointed into me.
And isn't that again the bad vibrations, right? I don't want to talk bad about your mother because she did nothing wrong, but
she couldn't help it.
Our parents didn't have that opportunity like we do to check
exactly.
how you should raise children, right?
Exactly.
So usually it was like this, that when your parent was afraid, he gave all his afraidness towards
big
you.
Rucksack, and
Even you had those big kamerton, metal dingice, they had this kamerton with fear.
Exactly.
And they tried to kill your vibration
and that's
over there.
Basically what happened. And then when we were sort of friends, teaching and just having a good time, you said one day, please sit in the chair. And I thought, not to me. But yeah, then we started. And then you showed, when my ex-girlfriend had a bit of a problem, how it all works, and that sort of gave a different point of view, and that made it sort of easier. Step by step, you guided me into not being so fearful.
The Australian army, they've got these paratroopers, the ones that go with parachutes, and they've got this saying that they say that wisdom takes away all the fear. And it's you don't have to be a small boy to come to the to a visit where you are checking everything. We've got a lot of people with dental phobia because it's a very tough condition to overcome.
Yes, right? Because it's a really weird position you put yourself in as a child, but also as an adult. That you lie backwards, you open your mouth, which is unnatural.
You're totally vulnerable right now, right?
And you have to trust somebody who has all these metal, sharp thingies around him.
And it all comes from it that people are afraid to say that they are in fear. Because they don't want to be seen as someone
as a
weak,
wimpy,
as a weak person. My beloved Professor Gluckman from South Africa says that it's not the fear of pain of needle; it's the fear of the unknowing.
That's the worst part.
Exactly.
Like I'm nowadays more afraid of the checkups than when I know, there's a tooth being drilled. That is more easy to go through because I know exactly what's going to happen. And with the checkup, there might be this, or there might be that, or everything needs to be going out, or that goes through your mind.
Exactly, and it's my role to feel the vibrations of a patient that he might have that dental phobia.
Yes.
He's afraid to ask some questions, and I have to check that vibrations if I can help him to overcome it, right?
Yes.
And it's the best part you can do.
And
right?
you're really good at it.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know. No, seriously, I mean, I'm talking about a real phobia, not like everybody's a bit afraid, I think, of going to the dentist, but real phobia like I had, like the story I told you, was for me really like, how is it possible? I'm not saying I'm going to the dentist like happy the peppy now, but I go like a normal person would.
Yeah, it's the biggest compliment for me that I've got a lot of. Thank you very much. It's the biggest compliment for me that I've got a lot of patients, not only friends, but also my patients that come to the dental office, that said that I will never go to anyone else than you.
No, me neither.
But suddenly you go on a vacation, just like my friend Krzysiek went to Thailand, just like you live over here, and then you have to go to someone else, and then you go.
Yes,
it's not a problem.
I did go to my dentist now a couple of times, and the dentist, the owner of the dentistry, I don't like at all. We have no vibration, no connection whatsoever. So it makes it really hard.
But
and I told them, if anything needs to be done that is more than a checkup or a little hole, I'm going to my check.
But you also told me that he doesn't even try, right? He doesn't even try
he's
to...
very
strict.
like this.
Yeah, just
like my old dentist was.
Yeah, that's. You also
Yes.
told me that you're trying to give away all the fear, because there is always a small amount of fear, right?
Everybody has it. Yes.
I don't have 5 teeth.
Yeah.
I had 4 teeth extracted for orthodontic treatment,
Yeah.
and 1 teeth extracted just because it just fell out after
Yeah.
what my old dentist do to it, right?
Yeah.
And my friends from surgery, I used to work in a hospital in a surgery ward with the best surgeons out there, and I knew that they're gonna do it the best they can. But still, I was still sweaty, right?
Yes.
It's just written in your genotype, in your genotype, in your in your DNA. That you have to. It's not wise not to have any fear. You have to have some fear.
Of course, it's a
because
natural
Mike Tyson
thing.
told it that he loves fear, because fear is a friend of a warrior.
Yeah.
Whenever you have fear, you know that you're gonna be. You're gonna watch out for all the danger that can come to you,
exactly.
right? So fear is always there, and fear
of
is good.
course. And it's a good thing, because otherwise we would not survive all the dangers.
Exactly,
in the world.
right.
And you can say the same of pain, of course. Pain is not a pleasant thing, but yet it's part of life, and you have to kind of embrace it, which I can do now.
Exactly.
So when I go to a dentist now, I'm like, okay, I can take the pain. The pain is not the problem.
Yeah, exactly. But you told me that you're trying to take away all the stiffness of the situations and all the everything by making jokes, like you are.
Exactly.
Smiling and everything.
Yes.
Open of months, dichtbijten, uw ten prikje.
So yes, I want to really thank you for bringing me over this thing.
But you look, just like I said, that there is from time to time you were taking care of people. You took care of me.
Yes.
You didn't have to spend your own free time, but you've got a lot of things to do. When I'm gonna go out of here, you're writing your own program. You're writing this application for the silent disco.
Discuss this in another podcast.
Yes, we can.
Outcast, sorry.
Usually I make 2 episodes in the very same place.
Okay.
But since I'm here, and the Holland is so big, we're gonna make 3 podcasts in 3 different places.
We have to show all the beauty we have.
We'll take this stick and gonna drive on our bikes.
Yes.
But let's not do it in Amsterdam, because there are drunk and stoned people out there. Because we're gonna have a accidentje.
Een ongelukje.
Ongelukje. I remember Mission Impossible. Missie onmogelijk. I love about your country that you've got all these movies with subtitles.
Yes,
yeah?
That's why we can understand English.
That's why even a 90-year-old granny speaks English. It has some bads, has some downsides, because when I wanted to learn Dutch, I was speaking some of it, and someone goes, "You're speaking Dutch. That's so adorable."
Thank you, but now we go in English.
But now we can speak English. You know what? But I would like to speak Dutch. Hey, don't hurt yourself.
But it's time.
It's time?
It's time.
It's time for another episode?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Gezellig. See you in another episode in another part of Holland.
Beautiful part of Holland.
Doei doei. Kus kus kus.
Doei doei.